I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. Hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in UK test part 271, Edinburgh Castle, while doing morning stretching, and if you participate in the morning stretching, it's at your own risk. But before we are doing any of it, in the last part we had a sentence. The sentence was, most communities will have a local pub that is a natural focal point for social activities. And I didn't read the word focal because I didn't know what it meant. So focal means center or point of focus. So the local pub is a natural center for social activities, a point of focus for social activities. So that means focal. And now we're having Edinburgh Castle. First picture. The castle is a dominant feature of the skyline in Edinburgh, Scotland. We know where Edinburgh is, that is at the east coast of Scotland. It has a long history dating back to the early Middle Ages. It is looked after by Historic Environment Scotland. So no, not National Trust, which is different from the National Trust of England, Wales and Northern Ireland, but by Historic Environment, or is it just a broad term? Someone is looking after the castle. So the castle is a dominant feature of skyline in Edinburgh. It's high on the mountain. So the castle is a dominant feature of the skyline in Edinburgh, in Scotland. It has a long history dating back to the early Middle Ages. So I think the castle was built around 1000. I'm not sure if it was 800 or 1100. They're saying early Middle Ages. Maybe we mean a more previous castle, which was at the same place. Why not? It's a hill in a good position for defense. So Edinburgh Castle, it dates back to the early Middle Ages, and it was looked after a couple of times. Certainly, if you look here, the way the building here is built, that is not over 1500 years old. And also here the rock, which is with metal here, made that nothing drops down. It's all not 1500 years old. So some historic environment of Scotland looks after the castle. So that is Edinburgh Castle with. Is actually all we have here. Edinburgh Castle. And we should know it. So if you ask what is in Scotland, that is Edinburgh Castle, a prominent feature of the skyline of Edinburgh in Scotland. It dates back to the Middle Ages and by the historic environment of Scotland. It is looked after. Now we're going to do not anything new anymore, just some morning stitching. If you're here for the Giant's Causeway, then you can just come to the next one. Now the morning stitching. Legs are standing wide apart, and we're breathing in and counting down. And out. And again in. And out. And again in. And out. And in. And out. In the last one, breathe in. And out. In. And out. Breathe in and close the legs. And out. We can go on with the exercise. The legs are standing wide apart. They're breathing in and lifting the arms up. And we're breathing out and we're leaning to the side. Now breathe again in and open the rib cage. And out. And again in. And out back into the middle. Breathe again in. And out over to the other side. Breathe again in and open the rib cage. And again out. Again in. Out back into the middle. And the arms down. The next exercise, we are breathing in. And out. One hand slides down the leg. And the other shoulder stays down. out, taking the arm over. Breathe again in and out the rib cage. And again out. Again in. Out back into the middle. Breathe again in. And out, one hand slides down the leg. And the other shoulder stays down. And breathe again in. And out, we're taking the arm over. Breathe again in and out the rib cage. And out. And again in. Out back into the middle. The nature of a test makes it that the things I ask are just small little details and not explanations. The next exercise, we are aeronautic aerobatic aeroplane. We're having our feet standing together and we're breathing in and lifting the arms up. And we're breathing out and one hand comes down. And breathe in and reach to both ends. And again out. Again in. And out, one hand comes down. Breathe in and reach. And again out. And again in. And out, one hand down. Breathe in and reach. And out. And again in. And out. Breathe in and reach. And out. And that makes it that over proportionally some parts are questioned for and other ones are just neglected. We are doing now a palm tree. We're doing the feet standing mostly together, maybe completely. Not completely, shoulder forward apart. And we're breathing in, lifting the arms up, and we're bringing the hands behind the back. We're breathing in. And out, and we're leaning to one side over. Now breathe in and out the rib cage again. And out. And again in. And out into the middle. And now in. And out to the other side. Breathe in and open again the rib cage. And out. Again in. And out back into the middle. Now breathe in. And out and lean forward. But don't pull at the head, just in front. Don't pull at the head. And breathe again in. And out. Again in. Out in the middle. And now we're breathing in. And out and we're leaning back. Breathe again in. And out. Again in. And out into the middle. Now legs are standing forward apart. We're breathing in. And out, and we are hanging down. And we're only having to come deeper down. Breathing deep in through the nose and the chest. And out through the mouth. And again in. And out. And again. And out. And again. and out over the one leg. And again in. And out. And again in. And out. Again in. And out over the other leg. Breathe again in. And out. And again in. And out. And again in. Out back in the middle. And again in. And out, we're coming slowly up with a round back and making it the top of backwards shoulder roll. What I just said about the over proportion of some parts of the deformation, it was just a hypothesis, not something de facto. And the feet are standing together, they're breathing in, and out and hanging out. And again in. And out. And again in. And out. And again in. And out. And the last time in. And out, we come slowly up with a round back and making it a top, backward shoulder roll. And for closing exercise, we are breathing in. And out. Get in. Out. Get in. And out. Again in. Out. One last round, breathe in. Close the legs. And out. That was our morning stretching. Now, we had 4 movies. These were the 39 Steps, 1935, Sir Alfred Hitchcock, and Brief Encounter, 1945, Sir David Lean. Then we had, by Carol Reed, and then we had by Frank Launder, The Bells of St. Gillian's. By Carol Reed, it was The Third Man. So Carol Reed, The Third Man, 1949, and The Bells of St. Gillian's, Frank Launder. Now we're having new Lawrence of Arabia, Sir David Lean. And Sir David Lean did also Brief Encounter. So Lawrence of Arabia, 1962, Sir David Lean. Lawrence of Arabia, Sir David Lean, 1962. And when we had here traditional foods, which is the second thing we're going to do, we had in England fish and chips and also roast beef, vegetables and potato and Yorkshire puddings. When we had Wales, we had Welsh cake, that is flour with dried fruits and spices. Can be eaten hot or cold. And now we're having Scotland, that is haggis. And that is sheep's stomach, which is stuffed with offal, sweet, onions and oatmeal. Offal, sweet, onions and oatmeal. Do we know the 3 leading fashion designers? Mary McQuant, Alexander McQueen and Vivienne Westwood. Mary Quant, Alexander McQueen and Vivienne Westwood. And you know, haggis, that is oatmeal, a sheep's stomach stuffed with oatmeal, offal, sweet, onions, oatmeal. Offal, sweet, onions, oatmeal. Offal, sweet, onions, oatmeal. I have 45 seconds because technically just say and try to remember these 4 names. Offal, sweet, onions, oatmeal. awful sweet onions oatmeal. Or you're planning to cook haggis. So haggis with the sheep stomach stuffed with awful sweet onions oatmeal. So, I thank you very much, and until next time.